Cyclones, just some simple harassment as Cloud9 look to close this one out. And the final fight breaks out now. Omni Slash coming through. Yule Scepter used offensively by Misery to keep him alive. MJW dropping the Requiem, re-engaging, but the pipe blocks him with all the damage. Even with the BKB, he's just netted, held in place, trapped for days. Misery will fall. E-Hawk holding the line here, and they may actually be able to force Cloud9 back, but it's coming at cost. Tier 3 down. MJW now purge. EE kiting, controlling him, and with no BKB, no repels to back up. He'll go down. GG. Cloud9, they move on into the winner bracket finals, and they are 2 series away from qualifying for the Dota 2 Asia Championships, looking like the strongest team thus far in the qualifier.
Going to be stampeded out of there, and I think this is being used defensively. No, the Hex on the side. It's Fluff actually getting initiated here by Fata. The dagger available. Fluff going to go down to the poison damage, it looks like.
Push gets caught again by the second.
No.
This has to be in game, I think, for Fire.
He's got no buyback, and Fog now getting it caught out by the Impale as well. TP out from Mike for the first fight. We see a Mike survive. And, yeah, down the mid lane. I think this is it. I think this is that last push which is going to end them. There is a Viper buyback, but that's about it.
He's definitely not going to be able to save their base at this point. Bone 7 has his refresher. He's got his ultimate up. He's going to be able to lasso twice if he wants. They're just going to march down this mid lane. Not much that they have to wait for in the Cola.
Fire haven't won a team fight in 15. Like difficult this time defensively, but
he's still going to die.
Yeah. The Tombstone, you cannot fight into the tomb at this point. You have no way of killing it off. An initiation here, TC's going to go for it. I don't know about the damage.
Just one up, but No Tail's keeping him alive. The Shadow Blade goes off. He is dusted, but he's still tanky. Yeah, that's
4 dead, and
that's going to be, honestly, that's
GG.
Yeah, that's not, they're not going to come back into that. It's 27-7 at 13 minutes. C9 alone are getting more than 2 kills a minute.
To jump on Eternal Envy here. IX Mike, he got off the 4 staff to break the Lincoln Sphere. Couldn't lasso in time, but they settled for a tree kill. Now mass TPs to the bottom lane. They want to catch this tiny wisp on the way back. Fog's in position, though, to cover their retreat if they want, or maybe it's an attack. They chunk Fata up into the air, and now bringing it back down. The crits! The cleave! It's too much from Ush! Give him a triple! Oh, baby, he wants to make it an ultra, pushing forward. He could toss Fog, perhaps. Can he get in range? No. Can't get the ultra. And now they will go for the base. Cloud9, they had the 1-0 advantage, but it looks like it might end up being a best of 5 that turns into a best of 3 as Eternal Enemy gets lassoed, trapped, hexed, lassoed, and just destroyed from there. Can they turn it now? They get the overgrowth, vacuum follow-up. Unfortunately, Ush's BKB, so he just goes right through it, cleans them up with a crit. Again with the big cleaves, now turning and delivering another smackdown! This Tiny doing way too much work, godlike triple kill. Eternal Envy also trapped. Will he end up surviving? And Chant Totem then finished off with a scream. And while that's happening, it's the Rock Man in your house beating down the front door. GG, Cloud9. Ush just a bit too much to handle here. He goes 15-3-2. He wallops them, and Fire showed that they are a legitimate threat here to Cloud9. And this should be a freebie for Eternal Envy. Glyph comes out. Well, maybe not a freebie this time around. Big Daddy about to relocate. And he's going to end up relocating up just a bit to the north, but gets brought low. IX Mike ends up getting the kill. Fog will get it with the Dagon. And now looks for Eternal Envy on the TP out close to dying, but they can't finish the job. Getting aggressive on the top side of the map. And on the bottom side, Fata ends up getting charged. Caught up by IX Mike. Then bashed. Fog arriving and again zaps him. As soon as this is spotted, they immediately descend on mid. Cloud9 looking for that trade-off as always. They can't quite get in close onto the Bristleback, but instead it's TC who's trapped out. He is mech'd and kept alive for now. Chen, Hand of God, not being used. It will be now, but to no avail. The gem passed back the other way. Mike charges all the way through onto Misery. Manages to end the Fiend's grip. Fought bought back for this. Getting the 2 kills there in exchange for his own death earlier. And now a relocate. They relocated one direction, they sleep Mike in the other. Ush heading for the hills, but Tiny there to greet him and tosses him up, smacks him back down. Another quick kill. Cloud9 make it 3 for the cost of an Invoker death and a buyback. Send someone back to play as well. Zeusalt comes out. Ush, no backup for that, but it's a low cooldown ultimate. 85 seconds to go, and they chase onwards. Tiny into the front lines, all working on his way to Fluff, gets stunned. Nicely done. And so they'll head to the other direction instead, where they've managed to isolate the Zeus. He's dealt with easily. And now they relocate onto Fog. He's in a bit of a pickle here. Has the E-Blade Dagon. Can't get the vision right now. Ends up throwing out the Ethereal Blade on Eternal Envy. Then zaps Big Daddy. Nice use of Fog. There's a lot of tricks they can pull out having the... Uh-oh. There's a jump in. Ush is going to walk forward, but there's a lot of heroes waiting behind him. Mike gets interrupted with an avalanche as he's attempting to complete his charge. They do bring Fauna low, finishing him off, turning their attention to Bone 7. Where are the Tiny Wisp for now? They're just off in the middle lane. They jumped forward to get this kill in Nature's Prophet. Now they return, but it's a bit of an ambush. Well, maybe it's not. Eternal Envy getting control now. He loses his Wisp. He's held in position, but then Misery arrives, tries to throw out the sleep to turn things about. And they start to kite him, but it takes a while. They stomp him, goo him up a bit. Big Daddy rejoins the fray. He bought back for this. They do not want this Roche going down uncontested. Leaping out with the blink is Fluff. He will end up surviving. At the same time, Ike's Mike goes down, and it leaves only TC to try and salvage this Misery, though. Manages to get off asleep. It's going to cost TC his life, it looks like. Toss forward. Big Daddy ends him. And now it's into the pit. Buyback status for the Radiant. They have 0.
Bristle got owned by Tiny so badly.
GG. That was it. Their final gambit in this game number 3 didn't pay off. Cloud9 now 1 win away from a trip to China at the Dota 2 Asia Championships. They're going to lay it on the table now, and it's the Huskar.
Oh, yeah.
They have
It's at half HP.
They look for Ike's Mike. Eternal Envy down in the river. He's going to commit into the pit. TC's waiting for him. Goes on to Fluff. Quickly deals with him. He's going to have to chrono in such a way that there's no... He doesn't actually catch Eternal Envy, but still is winning the man fight with him. Brings him down. Where's that RP follow-up? They've already songed here by Misery to try and stall. And Eternal Envy, no buyback. Your Wisp, also no buyback. Hook shot off the mark. Series of unfortunate events. The chrono didn't actually catch him, but it did keep the Wisp out. Which means Cloud9 look for the Roche if they're in their own right now. No global, no RP. Didn't actually see what happened with that, but TC goes in anyway. He looks for the Roche. Aegis still on the ground. Machi's on the ground. He starts cleaving his way through Misery. That's 4 dead. Aegis popped instantly. It's going to be Clockwork dead again. It looks like the Void ends up dying, but it comes at great reward to Fire. They deny the Aegis. They wipe Cloud9. And the Cheese rescued and recovered by IX Mike to round out the fight. PC is trying to force a reaction. He starts to beat on the melee racks. Mike leaps in. He gets off an initial lasso on Fauna. Do they want a global to follow this up? They do. They finger, killing off Fauna. TC commits a BKB charge. That's a lane of racks down. See if they stick around longer. Naga Illusion's coming in. Eternal Envy has gone for some evasion. And now the long range dump from Eternal Envy. But surprise, you've jumped too far. Chrono 1 online. BKB. Coming out along with the secondary chrono, but can he kill him in time? TC realizing that won't happen goes for Big Daddy, but he ends up getting slipped right at the end. Now the meatball comes out the other direction. Ush with RPs 1 and 2. TC fighting his way through. They all explode in a cloud of blood. Everybody on the run now. Fada on his way out. He brought back to rejoin this fight, and they look for a bit more. Eternal Envy trapped out, going blow for blow with TC. Just needs a bash or two. He's not getting it. TC ends up falling. Even the Silencer desperately trying to lay into Eternal Envy. They get off another Hex, but they can't finish him off. The evasion makes the difference. 1 on the run. Fog gonna die as well, so they lose their Aegis. They lose 2 more. They do get a lane of racks to force out a double buyback, and now TC gets hexed out. They're going to relocate on top of him. He's got BKB and Chrono. Global was used. TC going to turn this one around. Big Daddy going back in just a few seconds. Secondary Chrono used. They finger Big Daddy. They got to kill the Wisp. They do. But can they follow it up? RP pulls 2 out. They've got a secondary RP. And Envy's going to walk into it. They've songed now. While his BKB's going another gigantic RP. Ush finds the opening. Slams it home. 4 dead.
That was a nice effort. Go on TC, but I mean, TC has buyback and BOTs.
It's just so hard not to get caught by that combo. 4 massive AoE ults and a global to interrupt your ability to dodge
Radiant's middle tower is being
Fire, ease of execution at this stage definitely a lot lower, but they played well.
Also, they clump together so that Huskar doesn't have to get focused. They attack the other people when he gets cleaved down.
They kind of ignored him until the end of the fight, and that really worked out. EE getting bashed hard. They throw this Wisp up in the air. The cleave kills on Bone 7 first. He is fighting his way through this. They'll skewer the Wisp out, but TC actually going to go down. They try to commit a little bit too far. They do end up losing 4 heroes, but EE's alive. Buyback from your Wisp. 2 lanes of racks down now. Void also has the buyback if needed. It still looks good here for Fire. Are they going for it? Gonna go for it.
This is risky.
TC.
They could wait 1 minute easily.
They wouldn't have their Aegis. They'll relocate to the top side of the map. Envy and Big Daddy straight to the throne. They're bringing in the Necro Book. And meanwhile, the fight breaks out. Lasso coming through, but at the same time, there's a Song to disengage. They're being held in position back at the Radiant base. This relocate will end. They leave Eternal Envy behind. He's not killing it off very quickly, though. TC also going for the throne. The Butterfly will come in handy now. Envy still has to work through a tier 4 tower. TC dropping low, has both Chronos at the ready. Global now deployed. Fire got to start killing buildings off, though. Eternal Envy dancing with this tier 4, but it's not particularly quick. They'll lose their Aegis. TC low. Still no buyback for 27 seconds. Almost killed off by a rocket. He's got the Chronos. Use one, man, before you're gone. They'll get the Wisp kill. Envy being dragged back towards the fountain by the Stash himself. And TC will bring down your Naga. Envy just can't do it fast enough, it looks like. They'll go now for the throne. TC kept alive. Fire, pull it out of the hat, and they will force a deciding Game 5.
They're using smokes, but it's totally worth it.
It's funny because it's normally how Cloud9 pulls ahead in a lot of games. TC gets Lasso now. Fog there to greet them, though, with a quick defensive fissure. Still TC about to fall. Can't get off his BKB. Ushin. He gets off the Omni Slash. They all manage to get away. Witch Doctor being channeled during this time just destroys Eternal Envy. He got doomed, it looks like, and then just chain stun, perhaps by the cast.
I mean, there's potential for sick plays, though, to, like, split up his minions. So.
Uh-oh, fight's gonna break out now. The Night Stalker's a bit far out of the way. Fog gets caught out, and then Ush is gonna get pulled in. He doesn't end up getting off Omni. There's a nice pick-off for Cloud9. Mike on the run. He's gonna devour a creep, continue retreating out, but they chase him forward. Your Night Stalker unable to do much now. It's a minute of daytime before he has nighttime again, and this means our third hero goes down. IX Mike also caught out. They don't really want to give away the fact that they have him until he's trapped in. Fissure came from Fog, but there was also an ambush waiting for him. And then Misery manages the great escape. He flanks to the south, will retreat out. So they fight this one without their Earthshaker and perhaps without Mike as well. He's very close to a BKB, fingered and brought down. Then they use the Juggernaut so he can't engage. Finally, the Omni Slash comes out, but it bounces just between a couple of creeps and heroes, gets nothing done. Omni Slash down, Jug forced to try and TP out. It's all coming apart. The wheels come off for Fire. They lose 4. No Omni. Meanwhile, Bone 7's gone for a Lasso on Fog. He gets pulled out really far. 4-step back. BKB on Bone as he's going to chase his way in. They even flame break him back. Fog caught out again. He's going to go down before getting anything done in the fight. And now it's up to TC to pop his own BKB and try to fight through this. Goes on to Fada. The Juggernaut of Ush gets picked off. He didn't even get to use his Omni Slash, and Fire, another terrible fight for them. IX Mike run over. Fluff potentially done. He will get fingered. 4 dead.
Here they go again. The Wolves.
Big initiation. They get the jump on Ush. BKB was used by TC, so at least he's not stunned. Ush held in place. Your Juggernaut annihilated again. It's a good Witch Doctor ult at least. Bringing Big Daddy low. They'll finish off the Ancient Apparition, it looks like, but they lose their Doom. Fada was doomed as well, and he'll tick down. And actually, a nice dunk comes out from Fog, ending the Lion, but still Bat Rider as well as Lycan running roughshod over them, chasing down Fog. This is going to be the 4th death of the fight. Another 4-hero beatdown from Cloud9. It's still EE, yet to even take a scratch in the last 10-15 minutes. Nothing really gained thus far by Cloud9. Just pushing out the top lane in the meantime. They may sack this. Ush does get lassoed again. Caught out by the BKB. Fingered as well. Can they save him? They force-step him up. He's dead again. The Juggernaut just keeps on getting picked. A nice defensive fissure. Not good enough, though, as Cloud9 is just friggin' Bone 7 every time with the jumps. Getting either the Jug or the Earthshaker, and the fights just crumble from there. Your 5th 4-man beatdown. Like very early. Now he leaps into the middle of the fray, but doesn't manage to get anyone. Doom's Eternal Envy, but it's after he's managed to shapeshift. He's still brought out of the fight at the very least. Your Juggernaut Omnislash getting nothing accomplished. That's off the table. Now the last one to TC. His BKB's down. That's the Gem Carrier off the board as well, but I don't know if they need the detection anymore. Ush getting charged back onto Fluff, unable to get off a good ultimate. EE, he charges in again. Ush is going to end up surviving for now. Bone 7 finish off one, and Eternal Envy, he's already back in the woods healing up. He's going to come back in mid soon, it looks like. Nightstalker does have a buyback available. It is darkness time if he wants to use it. It's just hanging by a thread now for fire. It might even just be too late. Envy now, he's gotten an okay amount of HP back. Not great. Still reluctant to go in too far, but Mike gets caught. Mike gets blown up, finished, and fire are just falling apart. Fog trapped out one by one. They all fall down. Nobody able to hold the line. Ush gonna be next here. It looks like GG. They were so close. They had this game by the...